Hey everybody, I'm back. It's so nice to be back. I know that we're only at once a week now, but I'm really enjoying kind of the time at the market and working hard on another very important project that I will talk a little bit about later on in the show. Today is all about the charcuterie and cheese platter. I've been wanting to do this for quite some time. Donna, who works at the market with me, she and I call it charcutes. As you may or may not know, at the beginning of the year, we started partnering with Sonoma Cutrer winery and also Lambert winery. We are building their charcuterie and cheese platters for them. And so it's become a great project for us. When things are up and running again at those wineries, we will be back at it and building some great charcuterie and cheese platters for them. So can't wait to get back at it. But we thought what we'd do today is share with you our process for charcuterie and cheese. There's no set rules for building charcuterie and cheese, but there are some guidelines. You can make it all your own, but as long as you follow these specific guidelines, and you can bend on them a little bit, then you're gonna end up with this beautiful platter. So I've got lots of things over there on the side that I'm gonna be showing you, but let's talk about wine selection first, because I think charcuterie and cheese should also start with wine selection, always start with wine selection. I've got two great wines here from two different producers today, and I'm going to talk about each of them. The first one, this one. The first one is a Sauvignon Blanc from our friends at Porter Bass. Now, if you've been following us on social media lately, you'll notice that we have a deal with Porter Bass right now. So if you go to porterbass.com and type in Porter Bass BBM, B as in boy, B as in boy, M as in Michael, then you type that in and you'll get 10% off of anything you order, which is great. So we're running that for quite some time. And if you come to Big Bottom Market and say, hey, Porter Bass sent me, then we'll give you 10% off of your order. It's a really nice little reciprocation. We're trying to push more wine for Porter Bass and they're trying to push more people our way. They're great partners, they're great friends, and they're little like 2 miles as the crow flies. So we love our friends there. And they make this wonderful Mendocino County Sauvignon Blanc. Now, what's great about a Sauvignon Blanc for a charcuterie platter and a cheese platter is that it pairs really well with mostly everything on the platter. It doesn't fight with food. It really complements food, especially cheeses. So I have this little trick. I call it the flavor explosion trick. You take a sip of the wine and then you take a taste of the cheese. This goes really well with chèvre or a triple creme, like any triple creme cheese, like the Marie French is really delicious. But we love our partners at Cheveux. They make a great spreadable chèvre. We put that on charcuterie platters all the time, but you sip your wine, you taste your cheese, you sip your wine again, and you got this amazing, amazing flavor explosion. It's absolutely delightful. So let me tell you a little about this wine. I said Mendocino County. I think there's about 480 cases produced. It's $20 a bottle, so it's super affordable. And again, 10% off if you put Porter Bass BBM at checkout at porterbass.com. So when I taste this, when I smell it and taste it, I get these wonderful notes of tart apple and kiwi. It's got tropical fruit to it. And I really think that the aromas, they match the palate. Really absolutely incredible. And like I said, it's super affordable and it's Mendocino County. They make wonderful Sauvignon Blancs up there, and Porter Bass is doing a great job. Now, this brand for Porter Bass is Poco a Poco. It's their more affordable brand, but still absolutely incredible. And they have a number of different wines with Poco a Poco. Over the next few days, you'll be seeing us post about Porter Bass wines. Again, we have that deal with them, 10% off. Porter Bass BBM at checkout will be your discount code. Okay, let's talk about this next wine. So, as many of you know, I'm a partner in a wine company called Equality Vines. We're a cause wine portfolio, so that means for every bottle of wine we sell, we give back. This is our Get Your Own Damn Coffee Pinot Noir. Let me tell you this story. My business partner, Matt, Dr. Marilyn Schultz is his aunt. Dr. Marilyn Schultz in the 60s filed a lawsuit against NBC, and she won. It was the first female discrimination in the workplace lawsuit, and Matt launched this brand in honor of his aunt, which is really exciting. So in honor of her lawsuit and winning her lawsuit, you know, Matt said she had been asked to get coffee one too many times. And so We created this wine along with our friends at Paul Matthew Vineyards. It's a Pinot Noir, Russian River Valley, and it's called Get Your Own Damn Coffee. Look at that gorgeous label that our designer created for us. And by the way, the woman on here holding the briefcase, that's one contiguous line. Melissa did such a great job on this. So again, Paul Matthew Vineyards makes this for us. It's Russian River Valley Pinot. This goes so well with charcuterie platter, and it does because Pinot is great with meats. And it doesn't fight with anything, and it pairs well with cheeses as well. It's just a light enough red that it's not going to overpower anything. Yeah, ooh. I mean, I get dark cherry with this, absolutely. And the color is just so beautiful. It's got that like lovely, beautiful garnet color. Oh gosh, wonderful flavor. It's perfectly acidic, not too tannic at all. And again, it's going to go so well with our charcuterie platter today. EqualityVines.com is where you're going to be able to go and get this incredible wine. Again, Get Your Own Damn Coffee. We have a few other wines that we sell as well, and partners that we work with as well. Our two causes are LGBTQ equality and also women's equality. And we're going to be launching another equality series around immigration. So with that in mind, let's get to our charcuterie platter. So turn on my notes because there's lots of notes when it comes to charcuterie. So let's talk first about the vessel or platter that you choose. Now, at the market, we have these gorgeous little to-go bamboo platters. So this weekend, we're going to be doing a lot of meat and cheese platters for people that are going to be going on picnics, whether it's down to the beach or whether you're going out to Armstrong Woods. We have these great platters. We wrap them really well, and this compostable platter is reusable. So when you order a meat or cheese platter, you get to take this with you, and we'll have a bunch of delicious little things on there. It feeds about 2 or 3 people depending on how much food you have, but again, it goes great with our Sauvignon Blanc, our Pinot Noir that we have at the market, our Zinfandel. If you order this platter this weekend, take yourself a bottle of wine to go. So for to go, this is a great platter. Now, when it comes to using a platter, I'm a wood person, so let me grab this. I love a wooden platter, okay? So this is a gorgeous wooden platter. Let me move this back a bit so you can see it a bit more. So this wooden platter is great. It's a perfect size because I'm gonna be feeding, this is gonna go to a friend's house tonight, and I'm feeding 3 other people. So we're gonna be able to get a lot of food out of this. It's almost gonna be like heavy appetizers. And it's gonna actually taste and look really, really good. So I'm gonna explain to you how I put this together and how I think about it. Like I said before, I select my wines first. Bubbles go really great with a charcuterie platter because they don't compete with anything, and it's a great starter to any party. Like I said before, a Sauvignon Blanc is great. It's great with cheeses like the Chèvre. So this Chèvre is from our friends at Cheveux. So this Chèvre comes in this little jar, and then it's perfect to go right on the platter because it's like your own little vessel. You don't have to find a new vessel and put anything in there. That's perfect. But the Sauvignon Blanc goes really well with that Chèvre. It really is bright when you taste it. It's the flavor explosion that I was talking about before. Sorry, I want to make sure that I have my notes and I can read them. So I pick my wines first. I usually, at a party, I'll have a Bubbles, a white, either a Chardonnay or a Sauvignon Blanc, and a Pinot Noir or a Grenache. A Grenache is a really light red wine. We have one at the market that we do in partnership with Thomas George Estates, and it's really tasty and absolutely delicious. So that's the first thing I think about. The second thing I think about is cheeses. So I always go with 2 cheeses usually, 2 or 3. So I do a soft, if I'm gonna do 3, it's a soft, a semi-soft, and a hard. So the soft for me oftentimes is, like I said, this from Cheveux. It's made by our, oops, that was upside down. This from Cheveux, it's made by our friends over in Healdsburg. So it's really close by. We use this on our cheese and meat platters that we do for Sonoma, Cutrer, and for Lambert Bridge. Really tasty. It's a blended Chèvre, so it's easily spreadable. So it counts as like a cheese and a spread at the same time. And then the other cheese that I'm doing today is a cheese from our friends at Seascape. So this is a local cheese, and it is a aged cheddar. It's absolutely delicious. So good, and it marries so well on this platter itself. So I'm just gonna put some of this right here and get that on my platter. And we'll just start to build this as we go. Now, You can also choose a hard cheese. In my family, it's always Parmigiano Reggiano. Always Parmigiano Reggiano on a platter. You can do kind of a slightly harder cheese or a slightly hard cheese like an Asiago if you want to. Really, any cheese that you like is fine. I am a big fan of the Reggiano. Like I said, I love the Seascape and I love the Cheveux. So cheese is an important part. Then you've got your meats. So always on my platters, I'm going for prosciutto. We get this prosciutto from our friends at Zoe's Meats. They also do the meats for us here at the market. Absolutely love them to death. And then this is Sopressata from Fermani. Fermani is a local meat company out of Berkeley. So I choose Fermani. The other meats we go with are from Journeyman. That's owned by Pete and Kathy Sagacio of They were of Sagacio Wines. They sold and now they're just making delicious meats. We also work with Columbus. So Columbus does great meats as well. They actually sell that over at Safeway. So that's an easy to find. So let's just get some meat on this platter here. We'll put these here and these here. There we go. Okay, and you kind of just build as you go, and you try to make things look as beautiful as possible, and it's really easy to do when you have some great ingredients. Now, nuts and fruit are very important. Always Marcona almonds. They're a very mild nut. They don't have crazy flavor that it's going to overpower anything. And you get them so that they're salted, and it adds just a really wonderful salty flavor to the platter. Perfect almond for it. I like to put them in these little bowls because it helps to add some depth and height to the platter itself. I'm always putting strawberries on the platter just because I think they look beautiful. So we'll get those strawberries on there as well. Look at that. Beautiful. This is already starting to look absolutely amazing. Okay, now I love to put sun-dried tomatoes on there. Sun-dried tomatoes are perfect. People really like them. They're a pickable, edible fruit that goes really, you called me, with the meats and the cheeses. So let's get those on there right there. This is really looking up. Okay, now we've got our veggies. So I'm a crunchy veggie kind of guy. Hold on, let me turn that off. These phone calls that come in at this time kill me because people know that I do this. So we've got our celery, we've got carrots, we've got green onions, and we've got radishes. So I'm just going to decorate these around the platter as well. Again, you're just trying to go for making the platter look as bountiful and beautiful as you possibly can. So there's our celery. We'll get our carrots right over here. Let's put our radishes over on this side as well. This is looking gorgeous. And we'll get some green onions over on this side. Okay, you're gonna get to see all of this very soon. The next thing that I like to do are olives and pickles. So we talked about nuts and fruits. There you've got the savory with the tomatoes. You've got the sweet with the strawberries, and then we've got our radishes on there. Oop. Oh no, I was talking about. Oh, I'm getting lost. Sorry, people. Nuts and fruits, veggies. Now we're going to go with olives and pickles. Let's talk a little bit about olives and pickles and kind of my reason for putting certain types of olives on a platter. I always go with Castelvetrano. Not only do I go with Castelvetrano because they are not too overpowering in terms of the brine that is used to make them as tasty as they are. If you have something that's too briny, you're going to overpower the wines that you're serving and the other foods on the platter. The other thing is pickles. So if I'm going to use pickles, then I'm usually using a Cornichon. I'm not using Cornichon on here today because I don't think I need it or want it, but Cornichon isn't too acidic. I mean, they're pickles, so they're acidic, but they're small, they're biteable. You don't have some big pickle on there that's going to overpower the wine. Don't overdo it with your pickles. Like I said, go with something that isn't super briny. The other, in terms of olives, and then a smaller pickle like a Cornichon. The other thing that I think is really important to keep in mind, oh, looks like my computer died, so I'm just going to have to remember all of this off by heart, which is not too hard. I like to go with olives that don't have pits. So pitted already, especially now, people are wanting to be really careful about sharing food. And since the charcuterie platter, excuse me, is a shared platter, you're not gonna want pits sitting around anywhere. And if you do have olives that have pits in it, make sure you have little bowls so that people can take those pits and put them out. I also have some roasted garlic on this platter as well because I think it absolutely looks really good. Now, I've got all of my elements on here. There's a few other elements that you can put on here that might work really well. One thing is a mustard. So this is the Big Bottom Market gourmet mustard. It's got a kind of a spicy Creole style to it. It would go really well with charcuterie and the salami that we chose. And then the other thing is your crostini. So we make crostini at the market. That platter that I talked about early on is served with our crostini. But I always recommend, if you want, having French bread on the side because I love a crusty French bread. The other thing that you can do are rice crackers. If you have somebody that's gluten-free, those rice crackers these days are really absolutely delicious. And then finally, on this gorgeous platter that's sitting in front of me, I like to put some elements from my garden. So I went out to my garden and I picked sage and I picked lemon leaves and I picked some baby kale and I just kind of like decorate around the platter to give it just a little more beauty. So we've got some sage there. We're gonna take some of this kale and put it here. That'll look pretty right there. How about a little more sage right here? Oop, no, doesn't look that good. We'll get some of these lemon leaves and put them under here. So you just kind of decorate around and make it look beautiful. Take your time. You end up with absolutely something delightful that people love to look at. Charcuterie platters are a great way to make people go, my gosh, how did you do that? It looks so beautiful. And absolutely, they're not that hard at all. And they really set the tone for a beautiful, wonderful event. So look at that. That did not take much time at all to make. Let's see if you guys can get a better look at it. It's really quite beautiful. I can't wait to serve this to my friends this evening. I'm gonna take a picture of this as I always do. And oops, you can't see my face. Take a picture of this like I always do. And I will be posting my notes on how to build a great charcuterie platter real soon. Again, Porter Bass Wines, Porter Bass BBM is the discount code. Free shipping for bottles for case orders. And then equalityvines.com. Every bottle you sell, we're giving money back to equality causes. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in today. I had a lovely time doing this. A few little trips and falls with my veggies and my fruits, but for the most part, I think it went really well. Anyway, so glad to be back. Oh, and one more thing, one very important thing. I'm publishing a book, and the book is called Cooking in Place, 50 Days, Stories and 70 plus recipes to keep you sane in challenging times. The book is based off of the show that I did for 50 days, this show that I did actually consecutively for 50 days. I'm really excited about it. We're self-publishing on the Kindle platform. And what's really exciting about that is we get to choose what's done with the royalties. And one of the things that we're doing with the royalties is that we're giving $1 back to $1 of every book sold will go back to 2 nonprofits here in Sonoma County. So Becoming Independent, which helps adults with learning disabilities, and then also Food for Thought Food Bank, which I've talked about both of those organizations before. For every book, each of those organizations will get 50 cents. Our goal is to sell 10,000 books. It's lofty, yes, but selling 10,000 books will assure those 2 organizations $5,000 each. So you can search Volpat on Amazon and that book will come up. It's available for pre-order on the Kindle platform. It will also be available for pre-order probably within the next week or so as a paperback. So I'm hoping that people will start to pre-order the book so that we can show the world how awesome we are and how we can raise money for nonprofit organizations that can't throw big events and raise money for themselves. So I'll have more information over the next few weeks on social media, talking about it on the show. And you'll see if you are a constituent for Becoming Independent or for Food for Thought, they'll be talking about it as well. And we've got a few cool articles coming out in the media this week that you'll get to see online also. So With that in mind, thank you everyone for tuning in today. Go out to Amazon.com, pre-order that book. The pre-order price is only $3.99, so it's super approachable. When it's off of pre-order, it'll go to $4.99. And once again, thanks everybody. I hope you have a cool, glorious day, because it's beautiful here in Sonoma County, so I know I will. Bye.